So I think we danced around it, if you want to call it, but let's clearly define. If you can list maybe 3 or 5 key responsibilities of Agile Team Coach and key responsibilities of the Enterprise Coach.
So to me, a team coach is again going back to what we talked about earlier. Right? They're training the team, in whatever framework or whatever techniques are being used, right? So they're actually training hands on keyboard to that extent, right? Here's how you do this. This is what we're talking about. Here's the way that you should be thinking about things. So the team coach is actually in the room, training the team. And it may not be formal, 2 days Scrum Master training. It might be incremental training as needed, bite-sized micro trainings, if you will, along the way. And so they're training the team, they're mentoring the team in different techniques. So let me demonstrate to you how you would use, user stories, right? And let me help you to break down the backlog. So that would be an example. And then they're also coaching the team, and they're letting the team figure out what works for themselves. Because there's going to be more buy-in if the team comes up with a solution versus the coach, right? So in my mind, it's the art of coaching is around knowing when you should be mentoring versus and telling them what to do versus giving them the room to explore and maybe offering suggestions, but giving them the autonomy to actually figure out, okay, yeah, this is how we want to move forward with this and solve this particular problem or situation or whatever. The enterprise coach is really doing a lot of the same things. So it's the same set of capabilities. The difference is they're focused a little bit more on the change management aspect at a higher level in the organization, right? So creating a roadmap, actually executing the roadmap and doing the work to move the organization forward, working on communication plans and actual communications. And then there's the transformation activities, like what are we doing to transform? So how are the executive coaches coaching, mentoring, and training the executives, right? So the same capabilities, the same set of capabilities are being leveraged. You're just talking to a different audience, one that's a little more strategic. So having a little more experience around, hey, how do you run a business, right? Understanding P&Ls, understanding ROI, understanding that they need to get funding from the board, right? And it's not just, hey, open checkbook situation. So those kinds of activities are really central to when we talk about, a more strategic coach. And I actually have, I put together what I call an agile coaching practice, roles and responsibilities. It's kind of icky from a name perspective, but it's really just a guide to help people think through, okay, so if I'm a strategic coach or an executive coach or an enterprise coach, what are the things that I'm doing? Well, here's a list of things that I've put together in the past based on my experience. And then maybe there's a middle level tier coach. There's somebody who's working with lines of business in specific. They're not totally at the enterprise level. They're working with a specific line of business. And so what do they do? Who are they dealing with? What levels of the organization are they coaching, mentoring, right, training, et cetera? And then the team coaches, and what are they doing? And some of the interactions between those levels of coaches is also baked into that.
So one thing I wanted to add there is Agile Team Coach is more focused on the team, right? So that's the primary responsibility for the Agile Team Coach. Get the team started on their Agile journey, get them moving on their Agile journey, ensuring that they are moving in the right direction. If the organization has Agile Center of Excellence, Enterprise Agile Coach would be part of that Center of Excellence. Yes. Coach may or may not be there. In fact, I would say that if you have a Agile Center of Excellence, it is primarily driven by the Enterprise Coach. That's a platform Enterprise Agile Coach can use to brainstorm and create that roadmap and then roll out that roadmap.
Absolutely, that's a great add. Oftentimes, in some organizations it becomes PMO like. It's like, here are the things, the steps you must follow, right? Not suggestions, not, hey, this is something that we put out that's could be beneficial to you that you might want to leverage. So and I've been in organizations where, as soon as they establish that COE, they bring in the PMO leader. And the PMO leader, does the command and control dance, so to speak, and it ends up, really watering down what the organization will be able to achieve through learning and experimenting, et cetera, because everything is, it's mandated, so to speak.
The other thing I would say is the big difference is one is a creator, other one is a consumer. And what I mean by that is the Enterprise Agile Coach, for example, through the Agile Center of Excellence, would be the creator of different templates, different processes and worksheets and all that will be rolled out as part of the Agile adoption. The Agile Team Coach, on the other hand, is just a consumer of those templates and worksheets and all those things. That's how I look at it. One is the creator, other one is the consumer.